universal laws which make for success. The universal laws which make for success are the law of harmonious attraction, the law of non-resistance in its positive application, the law of conscious imaging or ideation, and the law of persistent application. Under the law of harmonious attraction, we take an attitude which will make for harmony in our lives toward everything that comes to us. No matter how inharmonious has been our attitude in the past, we now refuse to let any person or anything disturb our harmony. The moment we recognize that we are becoming inharmonious, we at once change our attitude and get back under the law of harmony. Under the positive application of the law of non-resistance, we stand firm but not resistant nor resentful for the application of the principles and laws which are constructive and harmonious in our lives, and we defend our position and our attitude against the fiercest onslaughts which the destructive forces of the universe may make upon us through people and things. But in our defense, we are exceedingly careful that we do not step over the boundary line which divides defense from offense. We refuse to attack anyone or anything, because the moment we attack, we cease to defend and begin to offend, thus getting into the destructive currents and becoming destructive in our creations and materializations. This attitude does not take away from us any of our initiative, but it does require that when we do take the initiative, that our consciousness is free from all desire of revenge, free from all resentment, resistance, etc. That our only desire is to uphold what we believe to be constructive and harmonious, and not to convert the other fellow to our way of thinking. The other fellow may take a destructive attitude towards us is not our concern. It is his business not to do so, and when he is not big enough to be constructive and harmonious in his attitude, that is his misfortune, and he will have to take what goes with it until he learns his lesson of harmony. Under the law of conscious imaging or ideation, through our inspirational, intuitional and revelational faculties, we create the vision or image of the thing we want, and by the intelligent use of our intellect, we hold fast to this vision or image in our thought world and begin its creation in material form by doing the things which we find nearest at hand to do on the objective plane, doing them with all our might, doing them harmoniously, constructively, and without resentment or resistance, knowing that each thing we do under these laws brings to us one step nearer to the materialization of our vision. Under the law of persistent application, we go on day after day, holding fast to our image of success, not resenting nor resisting any apparent failure of its immediate materialization, working harmoniously and constructively under these laws without looking for results. When we look for results, we relate with the currents in which doubt, fear, worry, anxiety, lack, etc. are found, and such relationship delays the materialization of results. When we have built a consciousness which will enable us to live under these laws without looking for results, but because they are so deeply stamped upon our own consciousness and have become such a fixed habit in our lives that they are a part of our character and are natural to us, when we live under these laws because they are the highest and greatest and best thing we know how to live, and because we cannot live under any others, then will we become the master of ourselves and our environment, and success will be ours along every line we may direct. Let me tell you of a personal experience which I had a number of years ago in my business in the commercial world, and which illustrates the unconscious use I made of these laws. At that time, I was doing business largely on borrowed capital, and the time came when it was necessary for me to raise $1,000 by a certain date or lose $10,000. I had reached the limit of my borrowing capacity at my bank, and so went to friends in my effort to raise the money. Every avenue on the objective plane seemed to be closed against me, and nowhere did I receive any encouragement in the way of assistance. I had made up my mind in the beginning, however, that I would raise the $1,000 and would not lose my $10,000, and no matter how often I met with a refusal, I persisted in affirming that I had the money now. As the days went by and every avenue on the objective plane seemed closed to me, I made my affirmation that much stronger and more powerful, were it possible to do so, displacing instantly every thought of fear, anxiety, doubt, etc., refusing to allow them to find lodgment in my thought world. The morning of the day upon which I had to pay the $1,000 arrived, and without my having either the money or any idea from where it would come. As I walked down to my office that morning, I said, "It has come to a showdown, for this is the day I must make the payment. I do not know from where the money is coming, but I do know that some way will be opened up to me, and that is all I need to know." When I opened my mail, I found a letter from one of my friends to whom I had previously applied for the loan, but who had not been able to let me have it at that time, enclosing his check for $1,000, and so I was saved. This is what occurred. A man who had owed him several $1,000s paid the indebtedness before it was due, and my friend, knowing my need, at once sent me the $1,000. Pure luck and just a matter of chance, the unthinking world would say, but it was nothing of the kind. I had the inspiration that somewhere I would get that money. My intuition told me to hold fast to that belief, and so I used my intellect to hold my conscious mind, the image in my imagination in accordance with that inspiration and belief, and to shut out from my thought world anything that would in any way impair that image. The result was that the universal law, manipulating as it does people and things to accord with our vision, our image, caused this third party, who was entirely unknown to me, to pay his indebtedness before it was due, and then have my friend send the amount I wished to borrow to me. Had I allowed my intellect to dim the vision, the image which my inspirational, intuitional and revelational faculties gave me, had I allowed that vision, that image to waver and permitted one instead which said it was impossible for me to get the money, I never would have gotten it. Never could have gotten it, because the universal law manipulates people and things in accordance with the energy we generate in our thought world through the use we make by our intellect of our inspirational, intuitional, and revelational faculties. Were it possible to impart to the consciousness of all mankind this great truth, were it possible to stamp it upon the intelligence of each atom in the body and environment of every life, then teach everyone how to apply it and develop in them the power or understanding of its application, poverty, lack, sorrow, misery, one and all would be immediately banished from the face of the earth forever. But this is not possible at the present time, because we are all in such different states of unfoldment, and we could just as well expect to teach every child how to solve problems in geometry and higher mathematics the moment it enters the kindergarten, as we could expect to teach every life these greater truths and their power of application at once in their present state of unfoldment. Some lives will immediately begin to absorb, digest, assimilate and make them their own, not because they are smarter or possess any greater power than do the lives which do not understand and therefore cannot at the present time assimilate these truths, but simply because the first class of lives have already developed these several faculties to a greater extent, and the relationship between them is more harmonious in such lives. The children in consciousness, those who have not yet developed these faculties, not only can do so, but will do so somewhere down the line of their cosmic journey, and the sooner they begin to live in and practice these truths, the sooner will such lives become the masters of themselves and their environment. No matter how old we may be in years in this incarnation, no matter how wasted and spent and useless our lives seem to have been, it is never too late to begin. No matter how weak and puny and puerile our lives and our efforts may seem to us to have been, just know this, know it beyond any question of a doubt, that we, one and all, possess within us all the great, wonderful, creative power of the universe, and it is simply a matter of getting that power out into harmonious expression to enable us to become masters of ourselves and our environment under the law of harmonious attraction, and attract success to us along any line we may wish. Will you be the one to do it now?